So we are talking about motivating students by a way of accepting them and listening to them to their woes. Um, so another aspect of motivation comes from delayed gratification, I believe. So how can motivation and delayed gratification go hand in hand, or how does Goldman talk about that in the book?
Yeah. So motivation is something that we initially believe that willpower plays a very important role in motivation. I use my willpower. I'll tell the student that you should have a great willpower. You should try. You should keep yourself motivated. But willpower has got a certain limitation. Up to a certain level, willpower can push you.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, your willpower is kind of a muscle. It has got a it got a it you can use your muscle, you can pump up your biceps and tricep, but up to a certain level, after that it will not increase. So like that, willpower has got its own kind of level. Once it reaches there, then after that, the next kick you won't get from the willpower. So
Mm-hmm.
that motivation thing actually comes from what Goldman tells you. It comes from, it's actually taken from another book. We can discuss that in some any other episode. It's called Flow. It's
Okay.
from Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Is a scientist with a tongue twisting kind of a name. So it's called Flow. So the motivation comes from, I have seen students who doesn't want to study nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if he or she starts to paint, starts to draw, starts something creating,
Mm-hmm.
it will lose the sense of time and space. So losing the sense of time and space actually is defined as flow. When are we in a flow state? When we can't track the time. We are not in a kind of a we can't we have lost everything. We have lost the sense of time and space. That's when we are in a state of flow. So if we can motivate the motivation, don't it's not great. Up to a certain point of time, willpower plays a very important role. But after that, that flow needs to trigger you. That flow, that you should be whatever you like,
Mm-hmm.
start with that, pursue that. Don't kind of put everything like kind of a baggage that you have to do this or you have to do this. Don't put them in a kind of a bubble, in kind of a tight shell. So
Mm-hmm.
just the flow is what is actually behind motivation. So delayed gratification actually helps you
Mm-hmm.
to focus on something that you can prioritize right now. So by delaying gratification, you can actually come to a point when I am engrossed in whatever I am doing right now. I am going into a state of flow right now, and that will push me. That will push me hard. I'll lose the sense of time and space, and I'll just pursue with that. That can be something, some of a project, some creativity, even that can be a career. So by delaying gratification, because what happens that when we delay gratification, we actually create some more room, more space
Mm-hmm.
to discover something else. So that's how we can motivate that. Be in the flow, do whatever you want, but just don't be bogged down that, okay, don't be bogged down by the results, because results is something that, yeah, actually comes in our
Late,
way of
right.
motivation. Yeah, motivation or
It's a consequence
something.
of the flow, I guess, right? So it's kind of
It's the consequence of the flow.
right.
Yes, yes, yes. If you are in the flow, you are one. You are one in life. Yeah,
Mhm. So
you are
how
one
does
if you are in the flow.
right. So
That kind of flow we actually see in the students. Maybe very seldom, but we see. Yeah,
right. So even
flow.
identifying
Yeah.
right. So even identifying which kind of flow will get the student motivated, that is also a huge deal.
Hmm.
And
That
so
is also kind of, yeah, yeah, well
even in
put.
adults, right? So when they are, selecting their subjects or they're selecting their career path, right? So identifying the flow and then maybe then thinking about a delayed gratification which comes in terms of career or you're established in life, etc. So, how does it's very interesting because I also have almost a teenager. So I was just I keep on thinking as a parent as well, not just as a teacher. of how to identify the flow of the student. So, being a expert biologist, and also maybe thinking about you are also thinking about careers of your child. So, how do
Mhm.
you think one could identify which flow is going to take the student in the particular?
As a parent or as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
if we can observe a student in an unbiased way,
Okay.
just observing, or just observing your child,
Okay.
that what, yeah, you will notice, you will there's a marked difference when, suppose my son is doing maths which he doesn't like,
Okay.
and when he is drawing which he actually like, or when he plays a guitar which he actually likes. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a distinct difference even in the body language. So we as a parent or we as a teacher, we need to pick up these subtle nuances, these subtle differences in the body language,
Mm-hmm.
in the in the kind of concentration, the focus,
Mm-hmm.
everything. So that actually will give us a stepping stone. So
Mm-hmm.
then after that we can discuss, we can have a go, and these passions, they also keep on changing with
Right.
experience and everything.
Right.
Yeah, it keeps on changing. Yeah, the more experience, the more because Goldman has given this beautiful uh, explanation about experience, that experience is something that creates this neuronal connection that I was talking about. It actually comes from experiences. Your experience will actually determine the architecture of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of experience you have, the kind of experience an artist has, and
Mm-hmm.
the kind of experience a murderer has is absolutely different. So hence the neuronal connection also. So
Does a nurture also come in here? The flow that is going to be quantum. So
the nurture
I'll
is the
tell you from a
experience.
very
Nurture is the
Indian
actual.
parent perspective. I'll tell you from a very
Mhm,
Indian parent perspective.
mhm,
So we know that primarily parents are, thinking of engineers, doctors, right? Primarily, that is, middle class parents. If they want their, wards to or children to be good at something, and it was till the last decade that if you are a doctor and an engineer, you will sure shot get a good career, and you'll be set for life. But now maybe things are changing a bit. So do you think if somebody like your son is very, very motivated when he's drawing, um, if he, I'm just saying, if he was exposed to maths, or if there was conscious parenting in the mathematical aspect, would that change or does it not change? Do you understand? As in, if I consciously want somebody, I'm just saying, manipulate,
mhm,
uh,
mhm, mhm,
what I think is it's not possible. But if you're thinking
mhm,
that nature nurture thing also works, would
mhm,
that also
mhm.
work somehow, or does it not work?
There are two
Is
aspects, two aspects here. First
mm-hmm,
and foremost, if you want to nurture, if you want to train someone,
mm-hmm,
if if you want to, you can train anybody, anything.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so
mm-hmm,
that's the neuroplasticity.
right.
If you give that much amount of training,
Mm-hmm,
that much amount of whatever your ward, whatever your son or daughter needs, if you can provide all the resources, and if you say that do this much of training,
mm-hmm,
you will reach that level.
mm-hmm,
That can be done.
mm-hmm.
But whether he or she wants to get to that level, wants to get to that line, that career, that's his or her choice. But so there are two
Absolutely.
aspects. One
So
is, yeah,
can you manipulate the thinking of a student? Because I have seen, I'll tell you what, I've seen,
yeah.
in the primary years, and in the till middle school, there are many parents who consciously put them into things like, without, I'm not disrespecting any parent, it's their
Mhm,
decision, in abacus classes, or in a
mhm,
particular chess class, or, something that
mhm,
will enable them to veer towards mathematics.
mhm,
Mm,
mhm.
does that change anything for a student, or ultimately he or she will take the path that it's already decided in there?
No, he or she will not take the part if if they dislike that kind of a line, that kind of a career, if they don't like that kind of a career, that work, if we may put it in that way,
Mm-hmm.
if they dislike, they will not even learn. They will not even give 100% of their focus.
Okay.
even if you are the best trainer,
Hmm.
but he or she is not going to pick up
So
because I'm
neuroplasticity.
not
So
interested in
new.
that.
So
But yeah,
my question is
so
neuroplasticity.
technically
Uh-huh.
it's possible.
Technically,
Technically
it's.
it's possible.
Mhm.
It's possible, but if I don't absorb whatever training I may receive, but if I don't absorb, if my brain doesn't absorb that, so
Mhm.
that kind of neuronal change will not occur. That level of neuroplasticity will not occur because
Yeah.
I'm not absorbing that thing.
Hmm.
Now think this possibility. I love this one and I'm getting the best training.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now think what can happen. So
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
the neuroplasticity will just shatter and
Manifold.
it will
Yeah.
just rewire
Uh-huh.
rewire in such a way that
Uh-huh.
you can reach the skies.
Yeah. Got it.
So that's when we say that passion should meet training.
Right.
You should be passionate enough and that you should be trained, because passion will also take you to a certain level,
Uh-huh.
not after that.
Yeah. Right.
That next level is your training that you will receive.
So I think we should, I mean, as educators and as people who've been in this profession for a long time, I
Mm.
have seen Indian parents. Obviously, they have the best interests. I'm not taking that away of their children in mind. They try to push them into science and and in
Mhm.
mathematics and in engineering or medical line. So we should also, maybe the thing is, mass employability happened with, engineering and medical, but there are also so many avenues that are opening up. If
Absolutely,
students
absolutely.
have the passion and the parents are aware of what is the training that
Aware.
could
That's
help
yeah, that's the
them,
word.
what is the
That's the word.
training that could help them, there is nothing that will stop the student from achieving heights.
Nothing. So what's your responsibility? Your responsibility is not so simple,
Hmm.
but you should be aware of your student or your
Child.
child or anyone passion,
Hmm.
and then just push it from just put the resources
Hmm.
whatever they need.
Hmm.
Just give them the training, give them everything that they need to nurture that passion. So the problem is the student is having a passion in here and you are trying to push them here. So
Hmm.
then this gap widens. It never converges, it diverges.
Mhm.
So
And
we need to converge.
very interestingly, because you belong to the bio experts and I belong to physics, so it's like engineering and medical line. But I highly acknowledge other subjects in which neurodivergent students and multiple intelligence can actually happen. So
Absolutely.
I think the problem with Indian parents and with the Indian society mentality as a whole is when a particular child goes to grade 9, it's very easy, class 9, it's very easy to put them into a coaching center and then get into engineering. And but I would really really through this discussion, if we could reach out to parents and teachers also to I'm
Absolutely.
sure teachers are aware, to be aware that a student can do fabulously if he or she has a passion, and we can nurture that, and we need to be aware of what are the next steps of training. So that is something I really feel
And
very strongly about.
yeah. And 20 years, 30 years ago, you don't have that much scope, that much training was not there.
Right,
Now, if you want to do something, if you want to excel, if you have a passion in X, if you want to excel on X, then there is a training available.
right,
There is training for everything, which
right.
we didn't get when
Mm.
we were young. So we have our limited scopes.
Mm.
But now you at when we were young, we had so many passions,
Mm. Mm.
but we had so restricted. Yeah, we didn't get that training
Resources, yes.
because that kind of training was not actually available. But
Yeah.
now training national, international, you can be trained on literally everything. So you just need to recognize, point out, you just need to understand your passion, being a parent and also being a student or a child, you
Yeah.
need to understand your passion and just converge the
Absolutely.
training, just back
And
it up.
I
That's
think and a beautiful way of just learning about the passion of your, maybe my daughter, she's to get a little personal, my daughter is very actively interested in sports for this phase. I just call it a phase, maybe it's going to change. So the first thing that I could do is go up to YouTube or go up and Google, or maybe also ask ChatGPT about what are the possible ways in which this can be converted to employability, to an employment. So we can start from there, and then we will see so many things opening up. So
Absolutely.
now, because you can reach, and also the beauty of World Wide Web is you have a contact detail of a particular expert, and you can get in touch with them. It is extremely easy to
You have everything now. You have everything now.
maneuver your way
And
into how to
absolutely, absolutely.
go about giving
And
training.
one more thing, if I may add,
Please
is
do.
that uh, one thing that's very interesting, that our system, our nervous system, our brain, it operates on the principle of experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever experience we can give to our child, to the young ones, to the, maybe it's not possible for our students to for us to give those kind of experience to our students, but we can actually try to give those experiences to our child,
Mm-hmm.
because experiences actually shapes your brain power. Your neuroplasticity also depends on the experience, because our brain can only think in terms of experience. Now if you tell me to think of a, say for example, a Ferrari, a sports car, a Porsche, I
Mm-hmm.
can think of that. I can think, my brain can think of a Ferrari, my brain can think of a Porsche,
Mm-hmm.
because I have seen that.
Right.
But if I try to visualize, if
Mm.
I try to visualize sitting in a Ferrari, holding the
Steering
that
wheel.
your
Steering
steering wheel,
wheel.
and enjoying the
Yeah.
leatherette seat and
Mm.
looking at the sunroof,
Mm.
that then when that's when my brain will falter.
Mm.
That's when my brain will cannot manage, because I've not ever been inside a
Inside.
Ferrari.
Correct. I understand.
Because our your brain cannot think
Mm.
beyond a certain point,
Mm.
beyond its own experience.
Mm.
So only you can think in terms of an experience, not you can also, you can that's something we can ponder also. We can
Yeah.
ponder after this
So
podcast is
if there
over.
are,
You can
say,
only think
uh,
whatever you have experienced,
right. So if there are n number
not
of
outside that.
experiences, if there are n number of
So that actually
experiences,
helps.
yeah. So I can
Yes, that
choose
actually helps to
which
understand things.
experience actually exhilarated me. I can choose that, and that can
Absolutely.
become my flow, right? If
Absolutely, because the number of when you increase the number of experiences, then also your brain will have that much options to think about.
Mm.
That
That's a
this one,
beautiful,
it can compare,
beautiful
it can
idea.
contrast.
Hmm.
Okay, so everyone should try to increase the amount of experience and the amount of quality experience that we have, because
Mm.
then only our brain can function properly, think properly, visualize properly, plan properly, and execute properly.
That is a
Because without experience, we
I
can't.
don't think any parent, most of the parents, I would say, they don't think like this, because that's a beautiful aspect that you have brought out, and I think we should encourage parents to even think of this way. Yes, think about
Absolutely, let them
experiences.
play whatever. Let them train in football. Let them train in if needed, in tennis, in badminton. Let them
Mm,
dance. Let them sing,
mm,
because you never know when it will strike, when that flow thing will strike with the student. Because
true.
unless and until you have the experience, how can you figure out what's
Mm,
going to be my flow? So
mm,
that's something we need to, even as adults also, we
mm,
also need, even when we
mm,
think out of our experience only. So if we increase that plethora of our experience, then
mm,
also we can, that kind of, we also have ambitions, right? We also
mm,
have set objectives in our life.
right.
But that level also comes from your experience. You
Mm,
can never think, there is a ceiling. You
mm,
can never think above that experience.
mm,
You
true.
can never think. So
So that is
increasing the
also
experience
going
is
out
very,
of the
very
comfort
important. Very
zone
important.
and getting experienced, right? Going,
Absolutely. Because without experience, your brain will not, never will be able to figure out anything.
right.
And one more interesting thing, your brain, it's actually, it's actually very easy to fool your brain. Have you ever thought of that? It's
No.
very easy to fool your brain, because
How?
a brain
Mm-hmm.
cannot actually differentiate between a reality and a thought. It can never. Your brain can never. So when you think of your next vacation, you
Right.
feel happy. You are not yet in the vacation. You are just thinking
So
about the pujo. You are thinking about the vacation. You are
true.
thinking about buying that home. You are thinking about shopping. You are thinking about buying that car. That actually pumps
Mhm.
your happy hormones, the neurotransmitters.
Okay.
So a brain actually cannot demarcate whether it's a reality, whether it's a thinking. So you can fool your brain by just thinking positively.
Mhm.
And
And
then you also get the motivation, you get
to
that
go
flow.
out of the comfort zone and experience those things. Okay, okay.
Yes. So you just think, you just make your brain think that yes, it's the reality.
I think,
It's
Arindam,
the
we should
reality.
have this discussion. I think we should continue this discussion even in the next, because I
We
would
can,
really
yeah.
want, many educators come in and also talk about this. We didn't have a lot of time in organizing that properly, but
Yes.
next month, I'm sure we will have that.